Speaking of wide receivers, headlining the Los Angeles Chargers list is Mike Williams here. AJ, I'll start with you asking you this question here. How important is Mike Williams to the Los Angeles Chargers offense, and do you think that they need to be re-signing him?
You know what? I really do. I honestly, as good as Keenan Allen is, I think there's something special going on with Justin Herbert and Mike Williams. Justin Herbert was able to get Mike Williams out of his proverbial shell, made him less than a one-trick pony. We used to see Mike Williams, his depth of target was in the 18s and 19 yards per target. They were able to bring that down closer to the line of scrimmage, make him more efficient. He's still getting first downs every play, but now he's actually getting fed the ball more and actually eating the chunks of the yards and allowing everyone else to be open. So I think that he's probably their top priority on offense, and you can supplement other places with the draft and cheaper options on free agency after that.
Yeah, and also shout out Michael Schofield, husband of Kendall Coyne Schofield, one of the best women's hockey players in the world right now. Dylan, you, sir, traveling down this off-season free agent class list, who best fits the Los Angeles Chargers?
I got them drafting a wide receiver, so stick with me on that. I'm going to tell you, it's Jaren Reed, defensive tackle. Jaren Reed, this guy right here, he's just a fantastic football player from the Kansas City Chiefs. Had a decent year, right? 48.5 combined sacks and tackles for loss, as you see there on the screen. But this Chargers defense, they lose two defensive linemen there, the nose tackles. You lose Justin Jones, Linval Joseph goes. All you really have there is Jerry Tillery right now. And they had the 19th worst pass rush this year. So I think they need another veteran right there, a big plunger up the middle, if you will. And Jaren Reed is someone that can just absolutely get to the quarterback, because we've seen the Joey Bosa. He's had great years. He's a great player, but he's also injury prone on that defensive line. I think if Joey Bosa were to go down, God forbid, and you don't address the defensive line at the defensive tackle position, I think that could be the biggest weakness on this team. And that's with me saying the wide receiver loss of Mike Williams as well.
You have them drafting wide receiver. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for our mock drafts and all of our draft coverage. Aaron, was that a good pick? You think you like that pick?
I loved it. I love the Jaren Reed pick. The Chargers, their biggest weakness is they were soft up the middle, right? Defensively, they couldn't stop anybody. Everybody ran downhill on them. And you need guys in the middle just to plug holes, just to get your linebackers free. And we know they don't have a lot of talent at the linebacker position right now. So having that guy big body inside and just kind of creating chaos inside, keeping those teams from running in the interior, I think is big. I want to go back to the Mike Williams thing for a minute. I think Mike Williams I think you let him walk.
Me too.
Because I think he's going to garner a lot of attention on the free agent market, and I wouldn't pay him. I'm not a fan of what I've seen from an all-around wide receiver position, and I did have high hopes for him. To be honest, I like what I saw from some of their young guys. Jalen Guyton's a speedster who can get deep. We saw Josh Palmer come in and make some plays when he was given some playing time. If you really want a veteran presence there, I think they go out, and if he's barring health and him not being re-signed, I think you see a guy like Michael Gallup in a Chargers uniform next
year. Interesting.
He does everything Mike Williams does and more.
Not the Gallup about it.
Except for the big body.
Nothing to Gallup at.
And
he's got
bounce. And that was my thought process when you brought up the other guys. I think that Jalen Guyton works because of a Mike Williams. I think Josh Palmer is just Josh Reynolds in a different uniform. I'm not excited. And he's young, and I know he can get better. But, my thought process, I agree with you when you say you wanted more from Mike Williams. We know he's been injured. We know it's taken a minute. This was the first year where you started to really see what you wanted from Mike Williams. And granted, it wasn't every single game of every
He disappeared again. He disappeared like he's done every single year.
Nowhere near like it was the years before, though. And the impact that he had already made on this squad was big enough to think that he's able to do it, and he's able to do it again with the Justin Herbert.